Welcome back to Time to Draw. Today I'm gonna just do something kind of goofy. I've just been playing around with this particular picture, and apparently I'm on a Cybergoth girl drawing kick again. I've drawn a few in the past, and sometimes they turn out well. So what I've already done is put in a lot of the basic generalized shape that I want. Again with our constant culprit, the non-photo blue. And I'm just going to see where I can go and what I can get up to. So I really don't know what it is that fascinates me about them, about the designs, but there is something that's just intriguing. Maybe it's because I come from a small town in southeast Missouri, and it's absolutely different from anything that I've ever encountered. I have to go on a very long trip just to glance at anyone who is like this culture, who's part of it. That and it it touches on the cyberpunk aspects, you know, the inherent notions that the corporations are going to take over and that we're nothing but numbers, that kind of thing. It just fascinates me, just that those notions, the storytelling. So I think that's one of the reasons why cyber goth is interesting, is because it's people taking a darker, more gothic look, and they're making it more about color. And I think because they make it more about color and corruption, as a way to get around corruption, they're making a statement about what they really want out of the world, what they want for themselves. It's a form of pure expression. And as a creative person myself, expression is something to be admired. I may not always agree with it, but expression should be cherished and embraced. And you can tell already. I didn't hit this as a topic for discussion. And maybe that says something about my creative process. I just felt like, okay, I'm going to draw this. I did a lot of this design with the non-photo blue right before I hit start with the camera. And that way it's very fresh both in my mind and on the paper. I'm copying elements from a bunch of different pictures, so that and part of it I'm just making it up on the fly too. after the last video, I was very happy to see how many people were willing to chime in on suggestions, and I will get to many of those. It didn't feel like the right time to just do another character out of something else. If anything, I felt that I needed to do something original today, and well, that need became, let's draw something that's absolutely original. There's no storyline about this character. There's no storyline involved at all. And one of the reasons I started drawing was to give a bit of a voice to, a bit of an image to things I was thinking. And the notion of a picture's worth 1,000 words. Sometimes that works. Sometimes. I just felt like putting that in there. I don't know why. Just to be contrary, to be different. And this is not a typical element you would find in something Cybergothy. It's going to be a flower. It's more of your traditional goth rather than cybergoth. It's because the cybergoth is very industrial, but this is not. And I wanted something a little different. His mouth turned out a little bigger than I wanted. That's alright. Again, it's a creative process, right? And that's a little closer to what I was after there. Anything that's really off angle on this, I'm going to clean up. I think. Was thinking about making one emblem in there, but nah, I'll go with something else. A lot of this is kind of like what seems right for this character? What seems right for what she's wearing, what she's doing? Who is she? What does she want? Why is she standing like this? Part of the reason why I like this kind of design too is because I can't do my usual things with hair. I can't do the overall shape. I actually have to pay attention to the more general, not just the most general, but also the more specific elements. I don't get to cheat, in other words. I don't get to cheat, and since I can't cheat, I've got to just dive in. I think on this one, it's going to be more a case of Cybergoth-ish. Ish is going to definitely be a keyword here. Of course, I've used ish previously too, so I think this girl should look a little mean and messy. This just seems to be the attitude that's going on here with the eyes and sign in there. Okay. I'm going after these buckles because I think they're pretty solid spot to dress. I forgot that part of her skirts. As you can see, this is really sharp. These buckles, I'm basically drawing the letter C. And I'm going to draw notches over here. I'm not using it like a normal buckle because, well, this girl's not going to be doing normal things. And I'm drawing in a line where the seam would be between the two halves. It's a bit of a stereotype. I'm going to put a Anarchy logo on her. It seems like there should be something there. The interesting thing about this bit of art is that what you're seeing actually looks a lot better than what I'm seeing. I'm not getting every shadow in on this for a specific reason. I really think I want to go over this with some ink. I'm in an ink kind of mood. not to that point just yet. I'm seeing how well this is going though, and I'm like, man, I need to make up a story for this character. You know, what is it that makes her tick? What is it she's doing? Does she have a double life? She's like an accountant by day and Cybergoth girl by night. Is she maybe a corporate person by day? Let's do that a little bit more. All right. Just taking a little bit more of the shading in. Erase a little bit of that skirt line there because I think I want the belt more. Sometimes you don't know these things until you've done them. You might have to erase something to make it work right. Okay. Right. Just keep coming up with these little changes that I'd like to apply, that sort of thing. So I end up adding in these little belt straps and things like that. They just seem interesting. I'm just playing around more than anything else. You know what? She should have an earring of some sort. Maybe a straight metal shard, something. Just straight piece of metal, just to make it look different. Make her look different. I'm not going to do anything there. Now let's say that the original image I saw for this pose, the model did have a ring. Let's give it a ring. Just felt like this character needed a little bit of some, not quite fishnet, but some stockings there that had some definition, some holes just to be a little more contrary. So that's what I drew first, is the holes. So there's basically two ways to draw something like that. You can draw the holes first, as I just did, or you can go over the entire leg, the entire limb properly, and then erase the hole out. And that's the disadvantage, is you might end up having to redraw tiny lines. Redrawing tiny lines is not fun. I do not recommend it. I almost just went with the pose style over this area too, but I don't know, something seemed wrong about doing that. So I elected not to. This, given everything, some things that just had to include there. Figure out what they are, and you get a no prize. Feel free to contact Marvel and see if you can collect it. Marvel Comics, they sometimes would, if readers found errors or oddities that weren't supposed to be there, they would be able to collect a no prize. And it was no prize, they just, they got basically a certificate saying, hey, you found something, good for you. Okay. Tell you what, I'm going to dash off and grab my camera really quick, take a picture of where we're at, because I really like where this is, and I want to be able to say, hey, here's where it was. And honestly, I will probably use that picture as the picture to as the thumbnail that you probably saw going into this video. It's important to enjoy what you're doing, and that's what I'm doing here. Is I'm doing my best to enjoy it. Probably a little overkill there. Okay, so let me introduce you to my array of pens that I have on hand. I've got Faber-Castell medium, I've got Faber-Castell extra small, and I have big fat Sharpie. I also have some other color Sharpies, and I may use those as well, just to give it little pops of color, because little pops of color can be fun. Yes, you're hearing me get a drink because, well, I've done well on this part, so you get to hear me get a drink. You have to reward yourself, you know. Just a drink of soda. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead and jump back in. I'm going to go extra small, just to do some of these detail points. It's an incredibly small nib, and I use it for incredibly small things. And yeah, I did just go back to the pencil. That's okay. The only problem with going over something in ink is you gotta be careful, because once you mess up, you're done. Well, it's not that you're done, it's that you've messed it up. That's not been the case here so far. You just want to hit the lines that you want to keep. You don't have to hit any other lines than that. Now, one thing you can also do is you can use different inks, different colors, different pens to give different textures. I'm going to go ahead and do that with Sharpie. You can see how broad that tip is too. That created a very bold distinction right there. And we can extend it with the finer points. We'll go ahead and take a blue Sharpie and do that. I'm not going to go over stocking lines again, because going over them again would give them too much definition. I don't want to give them too much. I want to give them just a little. I'll switch for these eyes. I'm going to switch to the medium because I want it much bolder line. And then in a moment, I'm actually going to switch back to the finer one. Switch back to it for two reasons. One, to get that, get the eyes in there. They're much more visible now. And the other is so that I can add a little more definition around the eyes themselves. I'm also going to do this a little bit. I'll design a she probably drew the makeup. There we go. All right. Draw in whatever this emblem is. It's kind of neat. Go ahead and draw in a few more of these lines here. Go to the shirt. You notice there how I actually left out a gap with some of the hair. Entirely intentional. I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of the shirt line in here. Just in a very ink mood today, so I'm inking it up. There we go. Back to pencil. Just a moment. Oh, a bit here. See all these little straps and buckles? They make shadows too. Alright, let's go ahead and get another line here. And double it up to illustrate the seam. Good. Go ahead and do this. To imply the folds as much as anything else. Okay. I'm going to do this too. Okay. like her bangs. That's just an interesting element, and I wanted to be sure to get it in there. Something very different. Let's have fun of art is doing different things. Alright. Now we're out of focus. Come on. That's better. That's much better. Sometimes you have to veer off course for a minute. And that's okay. You veer off course. That's why I get moments where I don't say much. I get all caught up in my work. Get caught up in enjoying all the little oddities that I'm doing. Get that in there. Ears. Okay. Move it there. Go ahead and draw that line in as a hard outer seam for this. Get a few things to imply the further layers underneath. I mean, half of what art is illusion. Go ahead and do this too. do that to give it a very kind of semi vinyl tone to it, a little bit of a reflective nature. Let's see if this will work. Just realized I have another toy I can use. So, with that in mind, let's get one of these fighter tip Sharpies. Okay. This is part of the reason why I did a small section first. A section I was leaning toward making more or less flat black anyway. There we go. That's gonna work. Alright. So I'm gonna do that a little bit. Come on. And that makes it a little reflective again. Cool. I'm using the pencil on the shirt to give it a different texture than the rest of her outfit. Alright, we're getting there. Ooh. That's a little bit of a snap on the pencil. It's okay, because we were prepared for that. Alright, so take this and do sometimes experimentation is the name of the game. I have a science background. Be able to experiment, right? I think. Okay. I'm doing this with 2 Sharpies because I don't want to get the hand. Just after this skirt. Okay, you saw that broad tip. I'm going to test something else too, just to make sure. I have a silver Sharpie. I kind of like that too. Yeah, let's try that. After this, I'm not coloring this in completely because I want to give the hint of metal, not the full embellishment. I hadn't forgot about those up there. Okay. Let's do this. Just get a little bit more in there. We'll recolor it, maybe. Doesn't look like it. We'll get this barrel out. Yeah, it's the same kind of media. It's oil, so that's fine. All right, I'll get this red out. I'm just gonna go over that. Just had the random thought, let's make the little belts here red too. It'll make a more cohesive part of the outfit. Make that flower really dark. And then, let's do this. I don't know about you. I think she's really coming together. Let me put a couple of green ones in there just to have some contrast. Put another splash of red right here. And then get this out. Over these lines a little. I think we're just about there. this. Oh, need this first. Make that a more cohesive part of everything else. What I should have done, and what I've done here, I should have done from the beginning. You see that gap that I made? I'm going to put a little color on that in a moment. And that's what I should have done down here. Let's see if I can. Ease that a little bit more. Yeah. Here. Alright. Whiteout's starting to chip a little bit. It's okay. Let's see. Oh, yeah. That. That, and that. It's interesting. You know what? Let's make that a little bolder. All right, everybody. I kind of got carried away. I think I ended up with something really good here. Tone up that a little bit. This is a very different sort of thing, and well, like I said before, I'm just kind of playing around, but it really worked out, I think. And since it worked out, I'm really pleased to figure out what to call her. So if anybody has any suggestions or names or anything like that, you know, drop them in the comments below. You know, the usuals, like, subscribe. Got links in the bottom. You can catch up with me on Twitter. Start updating my blog, and one of these days I'm going to get the Twitch channel running pretty frequently. But for now, this is Len Berry. This has been Time to Draw, and I hope you've had half as much fun as I have, because I've been having a blast today. Catch you later.